with black shows, once they get those 100 episodes, they're like, cool, we can sell it into syndication and we're done. Like, it's not a situation like Friends or something where they've got this train that they want to continue to keep investing in.
Something you mentioned about sports, you said that something about being small in stature.
Yeah.
So therefore, maybe it may be limited to what sports or how involved you got with it. Let's talk about that only from a reason of seeing you on camera. It's been used as like some of your punchlines. How has, and if you want to be specific, like how tall, what, like, have you always been kind of like the smaller guy?
I've always been this size, maybe smaller. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've always been little. And so the funny thing is like, I don't think of myself as small until I look around and see, oh, there's people way bigger than you. You know what I mean? So I think I have a big heart and I move like a dude that's bigger than he is just in relation to the rest of the world. I'm a little dude. And so I think that one of the first rules of comedy is you have to talk about the real. You know what I mean? Like, you have to approach it from a very real place. And if you don't do that, then you're not doing the thing. You know what I mean? So it would be weird for me to not acknowledge my size at all. You know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't make sense. It's like people's
psyche a little bit. It'd be
yes. Like, and you know, all my life experiences are based on how people perceive me based on my size. You know, when we were going to clubs back in the day, the bouncer would, you know, stop me first. It was like, hey, dude, how come you got your hand in my chest and not the dude your size? Like, he don't want to fight with the dude his size. He knows he can get away with doing that to me.
So yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to kind of walk through like the misconceptions, because one, there's a level of, you know, people think that, okay, I can kind of punk this guy around.
Right.
Then there's the reality of this is a black man who, as we'll find out, has a family and children, that is a protector, a provider. So,
but not only that, dude, I'm the oldest of 7. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the oldest. And when you're the oldest, you got to look out for everybody under you. You know what I mean? Like, I was the cheap babysitter, you know what I mean? And the caretaker and the, you know, like in some cases, I was the leader. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's really funny. Like on Jamie Foxx, like I played a dude named Mouse. You know what I mean? And, you know, when I see people and people see me, they go, Mouse? Like, is it okay if I call you that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you know me. And I think that with that character specifically, I think that character resonates with people. People actually feel a connection to that dude because they understand what that is. You know what his obstacles are. You know what I mean? Like, he's a little dude trying to make people realize he's bigger than he is. Like, that's a natural conflict that we all get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love to be able to dissect the character more, because it is one of those classic characters. You were in 25 episodes as a character of the Jamie Foxx show. However, in my mind, it made me feel like he was like right there, part of the cast, like anyone else.
That's I mean, that's the beautiful thing about that show and that experience. Like, I did one episode, season 3, where I played a different character, right? And so I did that and I thought, okay, cool. I guest starred on the Jamie Foxx show. You know, Jamie and I were friends. We met in the comedy clubs back when we were both first starting. I think he saw Don't Be a Menace and, you know, liked what I did with Crazy Legs. And so, you know, I don't even think I auditioned for that guest star part. I think it was just offered to me, right? So I came in, I knocked it out, and I was like, okay, cool. I did an episode of the Jamie Foxx show. Season 4, they brought myself, Chris Spencer, Alex Thomas on because they wanted to give Jamie friends, and we all worked at Jingles 2000. And, you know, Chris and I went to college together. Alex and I knew each other from the clubs. My ex managed Alex. So we were family, you know what I mean? So I think that when the three of us, first appeared on that show, we got 20 years of history, you know what I mean? From being in the clubs, making each other laugh after shows, so we had this, we were already up and running. So everything felt very familiar and we were still hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So since we're here, who came up with Mouse? Like, did you decide to just lean into it when we talk about stature and size and said,
well, that part was offered to me, and I'm an actor. I'm gonna, I go, okay, this is what you're playing. Find a way to really play it. I'm gonna use real parts of myself, but I love that character because that character is more naive than I am in real life, so I can play that naiveness. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like that character worked on that show because Jamie's super cool. You know what I mean? Like, Jamie's this fully formed dude that it's the Jamie Foxx show, and he's Jamie Foxx. You know what I mean? Mouse is a dude that wants to be like Jamie Foxx on his best day, but that's never going to happen. You know what I mean? So it was fun to play that. Like, I was playing a dude that so looked up to Jamie that he's trying to, I didn't even know how to date on that show. You know what I mean? So there was so much fun. Like, I really drew on my college experience for Mouse. Like the dude I was in college was very similar to who Mouse is, except I maybe had a little more drive. You know what I mean?
Yep. Now, that particular role, which was Mouse, it does kind of, I think like any actor, you have to be mindful. Was this one of your first early roles, by the way?
No, it wasn't one of my first roles. Like, I guest starred on, a bunch of other shows prior to that. I guest starred on Married with Children. That was one of my first, guest starring roles. I played this dude on Married with Children who worked at this record store called Final Vinyl. And all you had to do was walk into the store and hum a song, and my character knew exactly what it was. So Al Bundy came into the store because he couldn't get this song out of his head and hummed it, and I knew exactly what it was. So that was like one of my first roles. Prior to the Jamie Foxx show, I was in What's Love Got to Do with It. I played one of the kids. I played Craig Turner in that. But that wasn't a comedy, that was a drama. And I think I only had like a couple lines in the movie.
The reason why, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But so I think Mouse was like one of the first things after Don't Be a Menace where I got to be a fully formed character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The reason why I mention that is because I think like any actor, you have to think about typecasting.
Oh, absolutely.
And I did an interview with your Jamie Foxx co-star, Christopher B. Duncan.
Yes.
Who in a previous clip, or part of our conversation, mentioned the hurt he felt when it came to the industry and how they saw him. Meaning they only saw him as Braxton when he goes to auditions.
Yes.
Do you have any similar trajectory?
Well, he's I think Christopher B. Duncan is a great example of a trained actor that was so good at that role, that's all you saw him as. You know what I mean? I think my character in relation to the Jamie Foxx show, like I came on board later, and I think I didn't want to be so much of a character that happened to me. And I really tried to play the nuances of that character so he felt more real. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get me wrong, like, I think Christopher B. Duncan is an amazing actor. You know what I mean? And it was so cool to be able to hop on a show that already had its legs and then just add to it. But I was mindful of that. Like, I think every job you get in Hollywood, you want it to lead to other opportunities. Like that's a lot of what the business is about that a lot of people won't tell you. You know what I mean? Like you're getting a chance to step up to the plate and you want to hit a grand slam. So it leads to other times that you can step up to the plate.
Got you. So in conclusion with that particular role, are there any regrets, or do you think if people calling you Mouse in person to this day, it's not an issue?
No, I don't feel bad about that at all. Like, I don't feel bad about that at all. My only regret is that I started playing that character in the 4th season. So we went, I did half the episodes of the 4th season and then all the episodes of the 5th season. And after we got our 100th episode, the show was done. So I felt like when it was ending, I was just starting to get rolling. You know what I mean? So that was my only regret, was that, oh, it's over, Yeah.
When the show did end, was it abrupt for you? Did you know the backstory and why they weren't going to continue with the show?
Well, if you work in this business, you understand the business part of it. And unfortunately, with Black shows, once they get those 100 episodes, they're like, cool, we can sell it into syndication and we're done. Like, it's not a situation like Friends or something where they've got this train that they want to continue to keep investing in. So that was unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like we had a great rhythm. Like we were really like cooking, you know what I mean? Like, and there was so much good that came from that show. Like, Sherry Shepherd played my girlfriend, you know what I mean? Like, look at where she is now. Garcelle is fancy. Look at where she is now. Christopher B. Duncan, Chris Spencer, Alex Thomas, everybody on that show. Garrett Morris, Garrett Morris.
Smith was on there too.
Yes, exactly. There was so much good, and we had, we were like, I'll tell you this about the show. When I first got hired, I knew that show was going to be around forever because I knew what Jamie's talent level was. I knew where he was going in the business. So every time, every episode, I was like, we're making legendary TV.